He had never set foot in India. He was handed a box of old maps, given 5 weeks, and told to cut a country of 400 million people in two. The line he drew would set a subcontinent free, and tear it apart, and for 2 days, almost no one knew where it fell. For nearly 2 centuries, Britain ruled India. 400 million people, nearly a fifth of humanity. But by 1947, Britain was broken by war and leaving. The only question left was what would it leave behind. Nehru's Congress wanted one united, secular India. Jinnah's Muslim League demanded separate Muslim homelands. They called it Pakistan. And the map made the problem plain. India's Muslims were concentrated in the far northwest and east, in the great provinces of Punjab and Bengal, where Hindus, Muslims and Sikhs had lived side by side for centuries. Any line would slice through farms, canals, railways and families. In March 1947, a new viceroy arrived, Lord Louis Mountbatten. His orders were to hand over power by June 1948. Instead, he tore up the calendar. On the 3rd of June, he announced that British India would be split in two, and that the freedom would come not in a year, but in 10 weeks. Congress agreed, the League agreed, the clock was running, and somebody still had to draw the border. On the 8th of July, a London barrister stepped off a plane in Delhi. His name was Cyril Radcliffe. He had never been to India. He knew no one there. He was handed both boundary commissions, Punjab and Bengal, and told the line had to be finished in 5 weeks. He thought it impossible. He believed it needed years, not weeks. He was given 5 weeks regardless. Radcliffe worked from out-of-date census maps in the heat of the Delhi summer, with no time to walk a single mile of the land he was cutting. Down through Punjab the line fell, separating Lahore from Amritsar, splitting the canals that watered both. Then east, through Bengal, every stroke of the pencil cut something. A railway there, an irrigation headworks there, a village in two. Gurdaspur, a district narrowly Muslim majority, was split, its eastern half handed to India, giving India its one land route to Kashmir. Radcliffe said it came down to water and administration. Others have always suspected a quieter hand. He burnt his papers before he left, and the reasoning behind those strokes may never be known for certain. On the 14th of August, Pakistan was born. On the 15th, India. The old imperial flag came down. 2 new ones rose. Nehru promised the nation a tryst with destiny, and the streets erupted. But the line itself was not announced. It had been finished days before, then sealed in an envelope and held back, so that Britain would not have to stand over what came next. So nearly 90 million people in Punjab and Bengal celebrated their freedom without knowing which country they had woken up in. In the Chittagong hill tracts, Buddhist people raised the Indian flag and learned 2 days later by radio that they were now in Pakistan. On the 17th of August, the line was finally made public and the killing began. Radcliffe was already gone. He had left on Independence Day, refused his fee, and never came back. What came next is often called the largest forced migration in human history. As the line became real, people ran. Muslims west towards Pakistan, Hindus and Sikhs east towards India. In Punjab, 2 rivers of people crossing in opposite directions on the very same roads. Between 12 and 20 million fled. Trains crossed the new border and arrived filled with the dead. On the Grand Trunk Road, a single column of refugees stretched mile after mile, and in the panic, neighbours turned on neighbours. How many were killed? No one will ever truly know. Historians put it between 200,000 and 2 million, a range so vast it is in itself a measure of the catastrophe. Tens of thousands of women were carried off. The line was only 3 days old. But Radcliffe's line did not finish the map. Scattered across the subcontinent were more than 500 princely states, kingdoms that now had to choose India, Pakistan, or independence. Most chose at once, 2 did not. Hyderabad, deep in the south, would be taken by the Indian army a year later. And in the north lay Kashmir, a Muslim-majority land ruled by a Hindu Maharaja who dreamed of staying independent. In October 1947, tribal fighters poured in from Pakistan. The Maharaja signed his kingdom over to India, and the 2 new nations went to war for the first time. When the guns stopped, a ceasefire line cut Kashmir in 2. It is still there. They have fought over it ever since. Cyril Radcliffe's line is still there. It runs between India and Pakistan in the west, and between India and Bangladesh in the east. One of the most heavily guarded frontiers on Earth. The families it divided in 1947 are divided still. A man who had never seen the country was given 5 weeks, an impossible task, and a box of old maps. He drew a line, burned his notes, and went home. The argument was never ended over how many died, over why the line fell where it did, over whether it should have been drawn at all. 80 years on, it is still bleeding.